I haven't opened a video editing app in weeks. I haven't logged into a separate tool to write content either. I describe what I want, it goes and does it using software running locally on my computer. I've been operating my businesses this way for months now, across my agency, my software, and my community, and it's changed how I think about the tools that I'm paying for. Because once I started using Claude Skills for real work, I really realized that a lot of the SaaS products that I was subscribed to were charging me for something that I no longer needed, which was that interface. And that really got me thinking about which software companies are actually going to survive this shift and which ones are going to get just completely replaced. So by the end of this video, you're going to have a simple framework that I've thought of for looking at any SaaS product and knowing whether it has a future or whether a Claude skill is just going to replace it. So really quickly, Claude skills are integrations that give Claude Code or Claude direct access to external software and tools. Instead of opening an application, navigating its interface, clicking through all the menus and settings, you just describe what you want to do through plain English, and Claude goes and executes it using whichever tool it thinks it needs. So I've been running my businesses this way using MCP integrations to connect Claude into my CRM, my accounting software, my email, all my files. Claude Skills takes this a step further by packaging up entire software capabilities into something that Claude can use and reference from natively. So the software still exists under the hood in some way. The code and the logic are all still running, but what's gone is just that human interface layer. Claude interacts with that software directly itself, and you just tell it what you want to do, and it will do that. So if you think about what actually goes into building a traditional SaaS product with the core functionality, the part that actually does something useful is a surprisingly small portion of the total work to build it. So the majority of the effort goes into the interface, all of the screens, the buttons, the dashboards, all the settings, everything that the user sees and clicks on. And then there's the infrastructure underneath, which is the databases, hosting, logging systems, security, billing, all of that. And on top of this, you still have to market it and get people to find it. So most of the money and time that goes into building a SaaS product has nothing to do with the valuable part. And in some ways, it's all just a wrapper. And that wrapper is exactly what Claude Skills makes completely unnecessary. When an AI is the one using the software, it doesn't need an interface. It doesn't care about your onboarding flow, your dashboard, your drag and drop editors. It just needs complete access to the underlying capabilities through an API or skill integration. So all of that investment in UI design, in user experience research, in making the product look and feel great for a human operator, that investment obviously is just going to lose its value when the primary user isn't going to be a human anymore. If you're interested in scaling your own AI voice agency and becoming a better AI developer, we've just released our AI Launchpad school community. Inside, you're going to get access to a complete A to Z course on how to build AI voice agents alongside an A to Z course on how to use N8N to build AI workflows and agents. We've also partnered with Booked-In, which is a voice and chat AI client dashboard software, which you'll get as a bonus within the community. We've got over $3 million in software discounts for some of the top AI and business tools, including N8N, Make, Stripe, Webflow, Lovable, and so much more. I guarantee you will make your money back in the first day using these discounts. Alongside all this, I've hired the top voice AI and automation developers to work in the community to provide unlimited technical support. So if you ever have a question or problem you need solving, we'd love to help you out. I'll have the community linked in the description. So most SaaS companies have built their competitive advantage around their interface layer. But if two products do roughly the same thing, but one has a better UI, that has historically been enough to win. But I really do think that going forward, the advantage is going to disappear quite a bit because the end user isn't comparing those interfaces. They're just telling Claude what they want to have done. Claude itself picks whichever tool has the best API access. And the companies that make it through this shift will be the ones with an advantage that has nothing to do with their interface. So for some real examples, I edit my videos now through a Claude skill built on Remotion. So Remotion is a framework for creating videos programmatically using code. So instead of opening a timeline editor and dragging clips around, I tell Claude what I want the video to look like, and it uses Remotion's components to build that video. It generates all of the scenes, handles the transitions between them, lays out the text, the visuals, the graphics, and gives me the timeline that I can then review. So that entire editing process happens inside Claude Code itself. Now, Remotion itself is free to use with some paid tiers for additional features like cloud rendering. And so I do think that this pricing model is exactly the right way for this new approach. The software is still providing real value. It's just being consumed through this AI skill on Claude rather than a traditional editor. The team behind Remotion built a rendering engine and a components library that Claude can't easily replicate right now. So that's their current advantage. Over time, Claude may get to the point where it can build something very equivalent. So the smart move for a company like Remotion and others would be to still deepen their moat while they have it. If they added community-built components or start to leverage their user base to improve the editing experience, they could potentially create a network effect that Claude just couldn't compete with, regardless of how capable those models get. So the software becomes valuable because of the people using it and not just the code itself. Content writing is another example. I've built a full system where Claude writes my YouTube video scripts using detailed context files, transcripts from past videos as style references, and a set of rules that I've refined over time. The script for this video, for example, was completely generated through that system. I just gave Claude the topic I wanted to talk about, gave it some notes about some talking points, and it produced the full script for me. And this is just another example of a moat. If I wanted to package this scripting system up as a Claude skill and sell it, the value would come from the proprietary data that I've built into it. So that would be the transcripts, the tone rules, the style guidelines, my way of speaking. All of that was created and refined by us over time. Claude on its own will generate median quality content. It's fine, but it will likely sound like everybody else. But by using a specific skill built on top of curated data and rules, the output quality is just going to jump significantly. And this is just not something that Claude can easily figure out by itself, because the data behind it only exists because we created it. And that same logic applies to any business thinking about building a skill around their expertise. And on the automation side, I run workflows through n8n that Claude can trigger and modify. CRM updates, email sequences, invoice generation, all of these used to involve me logging into separate platforms and manually configuring each one of those. But now they can run through a single conversation where I describe what I want to have happen. Claude can set it up across whichever systems are involved, whether that's through n8n or whether it's building the code and hosting it directly itself. So the software that used to require all of my attention, clicking around, navigating an interface, now can just run through a Claude conversation. So if the interface layer is losing value, what actually protects a software company from being replaced by a Claude skill? Well, from what I'm seeing, I think it comes down to whether the product has something Claude genuinely cannot replicate on its own. And from what I've seen, there are 3 things that qualify for this. So number 1 is proprietary data. If your software gets better because of the data that's flowing through it, data that only exists because real users are interacting with the platform, then Claude can't just build a competing version of this. Analytics platforms that aggregate usage patterns across thousands of customers, recommendation engines trained on actual consumer behavior, compliance databases that are continuously updated with regulatory changes. These products have value because of what is inside them, not because of the buttons on the screen or the code. Claude can build an analytics dashboard, but it cannot generate an underlying data set by humans by itself. The second is network effects. So a marketplace like eBay is valuable because millions of buyers and sellers are already there. Claude can very easily build a marketplace interface in a couple of minutes, but it can't populate it with users. The same applies to any platform where the value comes from the community or the network. School is a good example. The technology behind a community platform is relatively straightforward and simple, but obviously what makes it work is the people inside, the discussions, the content, the connections, and that is just not something that an AI can obviously replicate. Thirdly, we have regulations. So payment processing, healthcare data storage, financial these involve legal requirements, certifications, and partnerships that just take years to establish. Claude can not easily become a licensed payment processor. The software companies that own that infrastructure, of course, will continue to be essential, but how their customers interact with them will shift from dashboards to AI skill integrations still. So I do think if your product falls outside of these 3 categories, if the core value is a well-designed interface on top of some logic that an LLM could easily reproduce, then someone is probably going to build a Claude skill that does what your product does, and the user will never need to leave their conversation to get that same result. A good example is Calendly. So I was paying about $50 a month for Calendly, and I was able to fully replace it in a couple of hours using Claude Code. Calendly's core functionality is booking logic and a clean scheduling page. There's no proprietary data making it better over time. There's no network effect between users and no regulated infrastructure underneath it. Claude just built the same thing and now it runs for free. That's the kind of product that's most exposed to this shift. And it is worth noting that not all skills are equal either. So a skill that's just a set of text instructions, like a prompt template telling Claude how to approach a task, has, I think, almost no moat. Anybody can read those instructions and copy them, of course. But a skill that has a utility script, something that does actual processing, has slightly more protection because someone needs to maintain it and keep it working as things change. So the skills with real defensibility are the ones backed by a server, a proprietary dataset, or a user network, because the skill file itself is obviously just useless without some kind of a service running behind it. So now you have my framework of data, network effects, and regulations. If a SaaS product has at least one of those, it probably has a future. Now, traditional SaaS charges per seat per month for access to their interface. You're paying for the right to log in and use the product. But in a skill-based world, the interface is obviously gone, so the pricing here is probably going to be attached to something else. So Remotion's approach is a good template. Their core platform is open and free. The paid tiers unlock additional capabilities like cloud rendering and team features that provide genuine additional value beyond what Claude could potentially do locally. You're not paying for access to a user interface, for the infrastructure, the compute, proprietary features that enhances what the original AI features could do. So I do expect more software companies to move towards usage-based pricing through API and skill access. Instead of charging $50 a month to log into a dashboard, they'll charge per API call, per render, per document processed, for example. The software still makes money, of course, but the revenue model just shifts completely from selling subscriptions to selling outcomes. So this also changes how software companies should think about their product roadmap. Obviously, instead of investing in user interface improvements and their onboarding flows, it does seem way smarter to invest in making APIs and skill integrations as capable and as reliable as possible. So right now, getting work done means jumping between different tools constantly. You check your email in Gmail, switch to your CRM to update a deal, open up Xero to check an invoice, then go to Slack to message your team, then back to Gmail to send a follow-up. Every tool obviously has its own login, its own layout, and its own way of doing things. With an AI operating system, all of those tools can be accessible through a single conversation. Now, I've been running my businesses this way for the past few months, and the difference is pretty significant. I no longer need to radically context switch between apps anymore. I can simply describe what I need, and Claude can pull from whichever system is relevant and execute across them all in one go. The ultimate goal is where individual software products become really invisible and that the user never interacts with it directly. And so I do really think that the companies with a real moat here will power things behind the scenes and just charge for their capabilities through that API access. Now, if you are running an AI agency or any kind of service business, this shift is actually good news for you. I think that agencies are in a much safer position than SaaS companies here because the work is tailored and custom to each client. You're not shipping a one-size-fits-all product that Claude can easily replicate. You're delivering a service that requires understanding the client's specific situation, scoping the right solution, and building something that fits their business. The same moats apply to this as well. If your agency builds on proprietary processes, client data, and real relationships, obviously Claude can't replace that. There's always going to be a need for the human service layer that agencies are providing. Now, if you are using software tools today, just look at every tool that you're paying for and ask Claude to create that tool for you, and you'll probably start to realize how powerful it is and how much money you can start to save. Now, I've been running my entire business through Claude Code as an AI operating system for a few months now. And if you do want to see how that works and how to set it up yourself, I've actually got a full breakdown right here that walks through every integration that I have. So click the video on the screen right now. I'll give you a few more seconds to click on it whilst it's still there, but it's a great video to watch and I highly recommend it.